Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening. It's me, Mama Do, and it's Missing Person Monday. So, for the second case today, let's talk about Lori Ann Boffman, Boffman. This is a young lady who has been missing since August the 5th, 2006. She's reported missing from, and I hope I'm saying this right, Girard, Ohio. She is classified as endangered missing. Once again, I want to say her name. I want her name out there. Lori Ann Boffman. Okay? Lori Ann is a female, black female, date of birth June 6, 1961. She was between 5'8" and 5'9" and 180 pounds. A little history about her is that she was diabetic. And they said unspecified mental disorder. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Did she have depression? Did she have anxiety? Excuse me. Did she have depression? Did she have anxiety? Did she have more going on than that? They're not real clear on that. But she had recently started taking new diabetes medication prior to her disappearance and was still adjusting to it. She is an African American female with black hair, brown eyes. She wears eyeglasses and a partial denture plate. She has one silver amalgam filling in her mouth, on her teeth, and a scar on her abdomen. At the time of her disappearance, she was styling her hair in dreadlocks. And she may be using the last name Stubbs, Stubbs. Now, what do we know about her disappearance? Well, we know that she was driving away from her residence on Harley Drive in Girard, Ohio at 6:30 p.m. on August the 5th, 2006. She left her purse behind, her medicine, and her ID. But there was a friend with her. But the friend said she was driving so erratically that they asked to be let out of the car. So she dropped him off. Yes, it's a male. And so this person got out of the car. And Lori Ann continued alone. Loved ones stated she appeared to be in a bad mood and was exhibiting unstable behavior. At 5:30 a.m. the next day, her blue 1992 Mercury Sable was found on a lawn in front of the library near, I'm going to hopefully say this right, High Street on the east side of Youngstown, Ohio. It had been involved in a minor traffic collision. The keys were in the ignition, the engine was running, and the door was open, but there was no sign of Lori Ann at the scene. She left her eyeglasses and some papers in her vehicle, but has never been heard from again. Lori Ann had 3 children, and her family believes that it had been very uncharacteristic of her just to abandon these children. But where was her mind at? Could her mind have been during a time with her diabetes acting up? Could she have not been in her right mind due to her blood sugar being too elevated or even too low. She had recently won $1,000 in the lottery the day before her disappearance and had ordered $500 worth of food for a party that she never came back to pay for the food or pick it up. There is no word on where this money is at. If it was in her possession when she disappeared, or if it's in a bank account somewhere safe, waiting for her return. Keep that as a card of advice. She does have relatives living in the city where her car was discovered, and she could be in touch with them, but nobody has come forward in these 15 years to say that they've had any contact with Lorianne at that time or since then. Now, what's strange to me is that who's investigating this? Well, the FBI is. But the closest office is Dallas, Texas. Is that because it's a cold case unit? Because Lorianne Boffman has been missing for 15 years now, and she hasn't turned up anywhere? Why is Dallas, Texas investigating her? I mean, this is Ohio. Spirit doesn't want me using this deck for this read. So, this is all we know about Lorianne's disappearance. My concern with Lorianne is her frame of mind at the time due to diabetes. And, I've been a nurse for 25 years. And people, when their blood sugar is too high and too low, they don't always think very clearly. And they can make decisions that are not in their best interest. But then I'm also concerned about this person who claims that they just got out of the car and walked away from her because she was driving erratically. So what's up with that? Why didn't you ask her to stay to get possibly with her family to get her medicine to help her? Did you try to do that? It doesn't say who this person is. And she went from Girard, Ohio, to her car being discovered in Youngstown, Ohio, the very next morning. Where is Lorianne? What happened to Lorianne? Well, let's ask Spirit. And for all those invested in this reading, in this case, all the family, friends, and soul tribe of Lorianne, Spirit wants to give you a card of affirmation. Today, I will breathe. Today, as I face challenges, I will call a mental timeout. I will consciously breathe with my eyes closed and focus on slowing my inhalation and exhalation. Spirit wants you to take a timeout and sit there and look back on the events. Facts. Look back on the facts, not the rumors. She's been missing a long time. Once again, she has been missing since August the 5th, 2006. This is a mother of three. And she left behind her glasses. Now, trust me, if I don't grab anything else to go out my front door, I'm taking my glasses because I want to see what's around me. And I'm taking my phone usually too. Why am I taking my phone? Well, what if I fall down? What if I see something interesting like a butterfly? Like I was out taking pictures of a butterfly on my way back from the mailbox the other day. But then again, I live on the lake. What if I come across a real cool looking snake? In the 2 years I've lived here, I've never came across but one snake on my property. But that's where I take my phone. And I feel like Lori Ann, she is 5 years older than me. No, 4 years older than me. She would take her phone too. And take her glasses with her. I feel like that for her to leave behind her glasses, something removed her. But we're going to ask Spirit about that. Time is of the essence. Time was of the essence that day. This is the Island Time Wellness Card deck. And the card that Spirit gave us for this reading is Clock. Need time, takes time, in time, cycles time to heal, progress. Needs time, takes time, in time, cycles time to heal, progress. It's time to make progress in this case. It's time to find out what really happened to Lori Ann Boffman. Where is she? She has family and friends and children who would love to have contact with their mother if she's still alive, if she's out there living a transient lifestyle, if she hit her head and doesn't remember who she is in that little wreck. It doesn't take much of a wreck to cause a head injury. The head just has to be hit just so. But who's this person that got out of the car? Where's this lottery money at? I would love to have those details. I would love to see more information supplied regarding Lori Ann's case. I would love to see a new detective start this investigation all over again. $1,000 is not much to kill somebody over, but people have been killed for a whole lot less. So that really raises a big red flag for me in this case. Divine Order is a card. The Archangel card. Archangel Raquel, everything is how it needs to be right now. Look past the illusion and see the underlying order. Look back past the illusions, meaning look past the rumors. Look past what people want you to believe and look at the facts. And the fact is that the day before she goes missing, she wins $1,000. And picking up $1,000 from the lottery, you're picking it up in cash money. So the likelihood that it was cash money in her pocket is very prominent. Okay. Keep an open mind about this case. Keep an open mind about Lori Ann. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectation. I really feel that the family and any and all of us that can contact the FBI, write them an email. There's email addresses available. You can Google email address for the Dallas FBI, Dallas, Texas, and it's going to pop up. Please, their phone number is 972-559-5315. So if you know anything about Lorianne, please come forward. If you have any suspicions that somebody was acting very different, especially if somebody was blaming Lori for her disappearance and suddenly had a pocket full of change, so to speak, that's somebody that needs to be looked into a little bit deeper. So let's see what we can get from Spirit about the disappearance of Lorianne Boffman, August the 5th, 2006, from Girard, Ohio. So Holy Spirit, Spirit Guide, Angels and Ancestors, what can you tell us regarding the disappearance of Lorianne? Alright, we have the Nine of Swords in reverse. We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. We have the Seven of Wands in the upright. We have the Eight of Cups in reverse. The Three of Swords. Wow. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Dang. Okay. So what this is telling me? That there was a relationship that went south. And she didn't want to be involved in it no more. The person did not want to be involved with Lorianne anymore. That's the Nine of Swords. Yeah, they don't want to be bothered. Whoever's energy is coming through, they don't want to be bothered. They don't want this new love. They are standing up for their beliefs, standing up for what they feel is right for them. Eight of Cups in reverse. They're not accepting apologies. They're not accepting, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. I shouldn't have done that to begin with. It's two energies here. This first energy, which I believe is Lorianne, putting somebody to the curb, putting a relationship to the curb. And the second energy is the person's apologies being ignored, them being distraught emotionally, and then looking back on what they lost out on. And there's money involved. They feel like they're due this money that was supposed to be theirs. And they want their portion. Wow. This breakup happened before the lottery win. The lottery win was not the reason for the breakup. Lori has her lottery win then. She comes into this abundance, this time of wanting to celebrate. That's the Empress in the upright. She's celebrating. She is beautiful. She's looking good. But she wants to celebrate with friends and family, those who are near and dear to her. What else do we have, Spirit? What else can you clarify about Lori's feelings at the time of her disappearance? She fought back. This person, yeah. It was a disruption regarding a family situation. And she fought back. She did not just give up and walk away. Nope, Lori did not walk away. What about the attacker? What can you clarify about the attacker spirit? They weren't worried or anxious about it. No. They feel like everybody has bought their story, that they're not being looked at. Two of Swords in reverse. They've gone on living their life. They dropped the swords. Nobody asked them about Lori. Nobody confronts them about Lori. The blindfold is very prominent because it's in reverse, meaning that they're still associated with the family. This person acts as if they care, in other words, and they're still associated. But that's to see is the heat coming down on them. But they're not worried about it. They're not even anxious. There's no cloud of suspicion around this person. So, Spirit, tell us what happened to Lorianne Boffman. How did Lorianne Boffman disappear from the face of this earth? Was she confused from her diabetes? Was she despondent and wanting to harm herself? Did she want to walk away? She was sad. She did not want to leave. That was not her plan. She was looking forward to better days with her children. There's two children in this, and birth in that new beginning. You see the person in the picture looks very pregnant. Not to say that Lorianne was pregnant, but she was birthing a new beginning for herself. She was ready to birth a new beginning for herself. From this breakup, she was separating herself from an attachment. But something very unexpected happened. The Page of Cups and the Four of Cups. Something very unexpected occurred. Oh, you can't see all the cards, sorry. Still can't see them all, huh? Move them down here. A person who she had ignored their love offer. She kicked them to the curb. Who is this damn ex? I don't know that this is the person that claimed she was driving erratically and they got out of the car. But this is an absolute ex. This is somebody who Lorianne had dealt with before. And it was very unexpected for this to occur. She never saw it coming. Is Lorianne alive or is Lorianne deceased? Has she been kidnapped and held captive? The Hangman in reverse and the Page of Wands in the upright. Okay. So this person grabbed her. and decided to, what I see is robbing her, taking away from her opportunities. You see, they have their bag of goodies that they've stolen, and they're going on their way. They have taken the money. They have taken opportunities away from Lori, what they felt that she owed them, what was due to them. This is actually very sad. It's as if this person strictly felt that even though Lorianne had broken up with them, that they had broken up, that Lorianne owed them. Queen of Wands. Oh. So, Lorianne, yeah, there was a discussion between the two of them. Oh, excuse me, I didn't know my phone was still turned up. What Spirit is showing me is there was a discussion between the two of them. An argument, so to speak. Making sure I have it turned down. Yeah, I do. And Lorianne stood her ground and said, hey, this is my life. And this, this isn't your money. This isn't your belongings. You don't have a right to any of this stuff. I don't owe you nothing. Who do you think you are? Well, that enraged this person. And it's somebody who was a very near and dear soulmate. Somebody who felt that Lorianne owed them. And they overpowered her very unexpectedly and basically threw her off balance, caught her off guard. They attacked. I see it being fist to fist, and they overpowered Lori. Basically beat her to death, is what I'm seeing. Because Lori wasn't cowering to them. This person feels that they are owed by everybody, pretty much. The Fool in reverse. Somebody needs to go back and start all over again. You know that FBI agency in Dallas, Texas? Yeah. They need to start this case over again. Get a new book. Start it over. Look at it all over again. The signs are out there. There's more information than what is here on the Charlie Project. There should be a highlight on the X, more so than taking their word for their alibi. And that is clarified by the Queen of Swords. Yep. That is standing by the truth, standing by the facts. Don't listen to how they're saying it. Listen to what they're saying. If this person has been interviewed, I certainly hope that the interview was recorded. Because how they say it is going to help lead to prosecuting this case. Let's see if we get any information on where Lori Ann Boffman is located. Spirit, can you guide us to any evidence regarding this case? To where the location of where Lori Ann is hidden? I have a flipper here. Five of Wands, yeah, it was a very heated argument, very heated discussion. This was a fight. This was a fight. Um, remains burned, remains. I know I turned my phone down a minute ago. Yeah, it's showing completely silent. Let me go over here and turn it off so it'll stop with that. I'm seeing her remains being burned. Evidence being burned. It may not be her remains, it's absolute evidence. Like their clothing that had blood on it, their shoes that had blood on it. There was absolutely a fire to get rid of evidence, whether that is the remains of Lorianne or the evidence of the brutal attack against Lorianne. There's others that know what happened. There's several others. And Spirit is telling me that it's been a waiting game to get the evidence to prosecute this person for the disappearance of Lorianne. That's Lorianne coming up in this reading. I love this for you, Lorianne. This is a Queen of Pentacles, a very abundant, happy person who is ready to birth a new beginning, a stable beginning, loving her children and her family and her friends. I'm certain at such a young age to be diagnosed with diabetes had to be very devastating and could absolutely cause you to have some mental issues, especially when the sugars were going up and down and you didn't know what was happening. Let's clarify the Five of Wands, Spirit. Because, you know, those are wands, and the thing that's sticking out on there is the fire. Wow. Sometimes the devil you don't know. How's that saying go? Sometimes the devil you do know is better than the devil you don't know. Sometimes we don't know the devil that's in other people. And Lorianne was absolutely trying to remove any energy from her energy that was very destructive. And then this person did everything they could to conceal the evidence and the remains of Lorianne. Page of Wands. A message. An inspirational message, but it's something fiery. And that's where the key factor is. The fire. Who had access to an area that they could burn things for a long period of time and scatter the evidence out? Or who had access to a job where there was a big incinerator? Because evidence was absolutely destroyed, which is going to make this case even more difficult to prosecute, but doesn't make it impossible. What else can you tell us about the disappearance of Lorianne Boffman, Spirit? Thank you for all the messages forthcoming. What say ye? I don't see anything in the write-ups or in this reading to show that she was participating in behaviors such as drinking or drugs. But that's not to say she wasn't. But this occurrence was all about the money. This person felt they were due this money, even though Lori had already sent them packing to the curb. Queen of Swords in reverse. Oh. She was very adamant about, no, it's my money. These are my belongings. I owe you nothing. And that's clarified by the Ten of Wands. Yeah, that person saw that as a burden. They saw Lori as a burden. And with those Ten of Wands, it was too heavy a strain in the relationship or lack thereof. And that's whenever they harmed Lori. What else can you tell us, Spirit, about the disappearance of Lori? Is her remains in Ohio? I have this really heavy feeling from this reading that her remains were burned. Now, whether they were burned at a home, in a burn barrel type situation, or in an incinerator, and incinerated. Is this person a father of one of her children? Five of Cups. This person has regret that they never got to celebrate a future with Lori. That it came to this. The Empress in reverse, yeah. Her demise. They have a regret on how they handled things at that time. And that Lori is no longer with us. And the Six of Swords. Really? Wow. Whew. But they've carried on. Like a thief in the night. The Six of Swords does not show, lie, steal, and cheat, deceit, deception, which is completely involved here. What it shows is that this person has continued on with their life, acting as if they have done nothing wrong and that they don't know anything. It was not their intention to kill Lori that day. It was their intention to basically take from her what they felt was due them. So can you clarify that, Spirit, for us? So they did not set out to kill Lorianne. Doesn't make her any less gone. It doesn't make her any less vanished. It doesn't make her any less not available to participate in the lives of her children and her family. Thought I felt another flipper. I guess it was just these two. Things are going to come to light. Things that were done in the dark are going to come to light. There is going to be evidence come into light. There's going to be a new investigation. I see this crab as an investigator, as a police officer, an FBI agent, looking at the case and looking firmly at this person who's trying to remain under the cloak of darkness. And that will bring comfort to her family and her friends. It'll bring closure, but it will not be able to bring them back all these years that have been stolen from them. And that's what happened. Now, the card of advice for this reading is to investigate. That came out pretty early, if you remember, when I was shuffling. Because there needs to be a new look at this crime. Hey, FBI, Dallas, Texas. I'll buy the new notebook. I'll hand deliver it. It's time to look this over again. It's time to bring some comfort to the family, to the friends, to the soul tribe of Lori Ann Boffman regarding her disappearance. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. There's 7 on here. 7 days, 7 weeks, 7 months are the month of July 2022. An important decision requires you to inquire, inform yourself, and think it through thoroughly. Find out as much as you can and look at the fine print. The fine print is where you're going to find the evidence. And hopefully this person will tell where her remains were scattered. I do feel as though this reading is saying her remains were scattered after there was the fire, after the evidence was incinerated. So what's the most likely outcome of this reading? 3 of Cups. That's comfort to the family, to the children, to the friends, to the soul tribe of Lori Ann Boffman. Getting answers. It's not the answer they want. I mean, it's been 15 years now. Would they rather hear that she's living on the streets of LA and they can go get her and bring her home? Absolutely. That's not most likely going to be the answer that they get. But this is going to bring comfort to these children that Mom did not desert you. Mom did not walk away from you. Mom did not want to leave you. Mom fought for her life, but she was overpowered. And it was all about the almighty dollar. It was all about what somebody felt that they were deserving of, that they were entitled to. I hate that word. And it's clarified by the Hangman. That is an investigator. Hanging up in that tree, not in pain, but looking at everything very diligently. Looking at who was all involved, who all claimed not to be involved. Where was this person? What was their attitude like? Their attitude's going to tell the story. But this is an investigator getting the information, investigating this all over again. Like I said, Dallas FBI, I'll buy the new notebook. I'll personally hand deliver it to you. I'll play cards with you. Just look at this again. Because you have the answers. And you can bring comfort to this family, knowing that Lorianne did not walk away. She's not living on the street somewhere. She was in Ohio. And she was taken advantage of by someone who overpowered her. And they worked very diligently in the next few days to rid themselves of the evidence so that they could continue on with their life. You know, that wonderful life that Lorianne saw herself starting, that new opportunity. Okay, I have to stop here because I'm emotionally getting invested in this reading because I feel that she was robbed not just of the money, not just of her life, but of all these opportunities that she would have had throughout her life had this person not been so selfish and demanding. And this person, just so you know, they've had other incidents with domestic violence. It may not be listed as domestic violence. It may be listed as assault, but they've had more. So, for all those invested in this reading, for all those who love and adore Lorianne Boffman, I send you my love and my light. I ask that Spirit guides the investigators to start from scratch, to bring the truth forward, to bring justice to Lorianne, to her children and her family and her friends, so that what actually occurred can finally be revealed. That this soulmate wasn't a soulmate. Nope, they were nobody's soulmate. They were selfish, and all they wanted to do was hurt somebody in order to get what they wanted. And that hasn't changed on who they are. They're still the same way. And see, they got away with it once. They figure they can continue to bully people. That they can continue to overpower people. This is most likely a male energy. If it's not a male, it's a very masculine feminine. Okay? A very masculine female. But this is absolutely somebody who wanted their way. They had serious control issues. So I will see you all soon with your next reading. Remember, hashtag bring them home. Every one of these missing people deserve to be home with their loved ones. And if you know anything, say something. Speak up. Please. Namaste.